Welcome, everybody, back to Hiveswap Friendsim Simulator. My name is Brotimus. Last time, we had another burgundy blood. We had Marsty, the one who likes to clean things a lot. This episode, we're going on to another high blood, another purple blood. I was told I should try and do the, or not told, I was suggested that I do, like, all the bad ones, like, all endings for this one. So we're going to try and do that this time, see how long it goes, see how that goes, because that might be something I do moving forward from now on. There's not that many left. I went through and looked at all the Troll Call trolls. I realized there aren't that many left. I think there's only, like, 8 to go after this. I might be wrong on that, but yeah, there ain't a whole lot left. But we did cleanliness. Let's do cleanliness. Now, the spoiler goblin did visit me. I was browsing the tumblers, and since Homestuck's going through like this weird resurgence with Hiveswap Friendsim and everything like that, I did see some minor spoilers. I don't know the context of the spoilers, so it'll still be kind of a surprise. But let's get into it. Let's get into it. This is a dark world. Blah 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 blah. All right, Kuroko Pierrot. So that's gotta be, oh, those are Faygo cans. He's got a bandolier of Faygo cans. I gotcha. Okay, now I'm with it. Alright, let's go. Because this troll is the who is this? Seriously, I don't know who this is, troll from Troll Call. I learned that when I looked it up. Anyway, excuse me. Let's get into it. I got energy today. I had a coffee. We're good to go. Having learned the dangers of using the public thoroughfares, you've taken to dodging down byways and skulking in rear areas. Trying to spy out individuals who look ripe for friendship while avoiding the more criminally insane denizens. To be fair, I know quite a few criminally insane denizens. Just a little bit. Just now, you're following a winding footpath through the undergrowth surrounding a neighborhood where the local hives are spaced far apart. You came creeping along this footpath for safety. You should have known better. The undergrowth here is like most of the other life forms in Alternia, evolved to ruthlessly purge the gene pool of the weak and the reasonable. Coiled, spring-loaded stalks with foot-long thorns, wow, flank writhing bushes with razor-edged leaves, which in turn crowd tentacled flori, with toothed lobes oozing liquid that hisses and smokes when it touches the ground. This is an unpleasant location. Extreme caution is needed, understatement of the century, just as it's needed in every circumstance on this planet. While your time in Alternia has gotten you accustomed to injuries, you still shrink from being impaled on sprung thorns and dissolved in acid. Ooh, boy. When a plant walks in with a foot-long thorn and shakes it in your face, you get sprung. You should have known, that's a dumb fucking joke, you should have known that eventually you would have to come up against the local flora, so you proceed discreetly, avoiding poison fronds and trying not to step on trigger roots. But suddenly your vegetative focus is interrupted. You hear footsteps on the path, and then around the corner comes a small figure. This is the first time I'm using... Okay, I was afraid, and then it took a turn. Oh, I don't know what voice to give Kuroko. I was thinking, like, looking at him, I was like, he's kind of like Pinky in the Brain, like, so, Brain, what are we going to do tonight? And then I don't know, I didn't know what to do anymore. His face and horns are painted with smudged black and white marks. Despite its diminutive physique, it has some of the most impressive horns you've seen on any troll. I feel like Chahut probably has the most impressive horns I've seen, because they're like, she's tall, and they're like, what, like 2/3 her body height? Like, it's ridiculous. Chihut has my favorite horn so far. Then the small figure sees you too, and is so startled it jumps a foot, impaling its horns in an overhanging tree branch and sticking there so that its small legs pump helplessly in the air. Oh boy. See, I don't know what voice to give Kuroko. Honk! You beg the small person's pardon and assure him that you are fully as startled as he. You go on to explain that you are not dangerous, but even if you were, you would not want to come to strife with even a small person with horns of that size. Honk! Yes, you will be happy to help him down as long as he promises not to attack you with the many bladed weapons that are stuffed into his belt, or with the dozens of cans of an inexpensive soft drink held in bandoliers crossing his chest. It strikes you suddenly that a neighborly gesture like helping someone whose horns are stuck in a tree branch can scarcely fail to kindle the light of friendship. You dare to hope that this will be the case now. Edging forward, you get close enough to see that around the smoke clown's neck hangs a dog tag or ID necklace. You tilt your head and crane your neck to read the writing on it. Kuroko Pierrot, if lost, call Branya Ursama. Suddenly, this all makes sense. This Kuroko Pierrot must have been one of Branya's reject wrigglers who, having grown to childhood under her tender care, has gone out into the world to seek his fortune. That would account for his small size, short legs, and small stature relative to his horns. You eagerly pull out your palm husk, happy for an excuse to pester your old friend, but you've got zero signal out here. You wonder if the surrounding vegetation eats palm husk signals, just as it looks like it eats everything else. You disappointedly slip your palm husk back into your pocket. Honk. You apologize for the delay, explaining that you were surprised to find that you appear to have an acquaintance in common, whom you hope will have time to discuss later. For now, you are ready, willing, and hopefully able to help him down. You hope he won't be offended if you slip behind him first. It's not that you object to bladed weapons or those who stuff dozens of them in their belts, but you feel that the ones he's wearing could ruin your look if buried in your torso, however unintentionally. You edge past the weapons, being careful and also not to touch the spring thorns growing at the edge of the path or their trigger roots. So I guess real quick, the spoiler I saw that he knows Bronya. That's literally the only thing I had. That's what the spoiler goblin told me. Once you're behind Kuroko, which I did get his name by looking at his dog tag, you grasp his horns firmly and pull, withdrawing them from the tree branch and allowing him to drop lightly to the ground. Honk! You tell him that he's very welcome. Then there's a moment of awkward silence as you try to think of something else to say. Fortunately, your new potential friend is not as devoid of the social graces as you are and gets the conversational ball rolling himself. Honk! You explain that you are indeed a stranger in these parts and that you actually don't fit into any of the hemospectrum categories. Wild, right? Although not quite as strange as you used to be, you like to think. You're really starting to blend in with the local color. Honk? Well, you'd rather not exhibit your blood just now. You're a couple of quarts low due to the robust conditions of life on Alternia, some of which you have recently had the honor of encountering. Honk. You sympathize. Slinking along these hidden paths in the Alternian woods can be tough on the morale. The smell alone is enough to make strong men weep, and the vegetation looks like it was designed by the Marquis de Sade. I have no idea who that is. Not that he knows who the Marquis de Sade is. I don't know who that is either. I am too stupid to know who that is. You can't help but feel that it would be so much better if one only had a skulk buddy, you continue. How wonderful it would be to travel these dusky lanes with a kindred spirit, a twin soul, a fellow traveler, an intimate crony. You're such an expert on friend synonyms by now. Intimate crony is not what I would call a friend. Honk? No, you haven't met anyone like that either, but you would certainly like to. Your new potential friend is obviously thinking seriously about this issue, so you back off. Give him space. You pretend to be deeply immersed in studying one of the razor-sharp leaves on one of the writhing bushes beside the path. You aren't one to force yourself on others, or try to unduly influence their friendship decisions. I counterpoint, yes, yes I am, as the MSPA reader. Okay, well, maybe you forced yourself on others in the past and tried to influence their friendship decisions. Maybe you've even done this a lot, but you've recently evolved as a person. I mean, that was the whole definition of Marsty. I was forcing myself to be friends with Marsty and fucking it up at every turn. Whatever, man. You now know that friendship is something that has to come authentically from within. Friendship is spontaneous. Real friendship sprouts naturally from the soil of mutual respect. Drinking that respect juice. The respect everybody juice. The best friendships grow and ripen over years and are not rushed or forced. Of course, you've only known this small person for about 5 minutes, but you have to start ripening sometime. Oh boy, that's a phrase I never wanted to think about. You're reflecting thus on the theme of friendship when a loud pours suddenly from the sky above you. It's a crackling, sizzling sound, like a chitinous thing with too many legs struggling in a hot frying pan. Kuroko jumps so violently that he nearly gets his horn stuck in the tree again. Looking up, you see a floating metal object, vaguely troll-shaped, but huge, faceless, metal, and with numerous sets of lightning bolt-shaped horns coming out of its head and neck. It's also not a very sparkling conversationalist. It remarks in a flat, echoing blare. It elaborates further. Honk! Okay. Alright, so basically what I want to do, I want to try and fuck it up first each time. I might stumble into the right ending, but we're gonna go like, let's go with, leap to your proto-friend's aid. Let's go with that one, see if that one fucks it up. If not, we'll just go back and fuck it up later. You leap to your proto-friend's aid, exactly what the thing said I would do. Thinking quickly, you push Karako against a large rock that juts out of the undergrowth nearby and jump in front of him, shielding him from the drone with your body. You then pretend to be leaning against the rock in an attitude of tranquil repose. Several of the bladed weapons in Karako's belt poke you in the ass. My ass has seen a lot of difficulties on my time here on this planet, but you don't let the show on your face. Instead, you yawn elaborately and check your wristwatch. You don't have a wristwatch, but you don't think drones know what a wristwatch is anyway. I'm just looking at my wrist. What about it? What? You're weird for questioning it. You don't just look at your wrist every now and then? Look at that. Look at that. You pretend to smoke a non-existent cigarette. Again, you're not giving anything away because drones don't know what cigarettes are either. So the MSPA Raider's just a fucking lunatic. But the drone has apparently taken an interest in you. Yeah, because you're acting fucking weird. It floats down between the trees and undergrowth and hovers above the path several meters from where you're pretending to relax against a rock after a long day of hiking through scenic shit-smell forest. It's quite a terrifying sight, actually. The drone observes soullessly, making Karako jump so that several of your internal organs are threatened. However, you maintain what you believe the local populace would call a stiff upper whistle pillow. Whistle pillow. I just emphasize that. The drone's blank metal head studies you, or it could be studying something in the opposite direction, or even taking the drone equivalent of a piss. You can't really tell from its expression because it has no features to make expressions with. This examination, or non-examination, continues for some time. Oh boy, that's a lot of text. But your diminutive potential friend is well hidden from view, and after a while, evidently concluding that you are an inanimate object that makes unaccountable gestures with its wrists and fingers, the drone floats upward again, gaining speed until, with a dreary it whizzes off somewhere to find other hapless non-standard citizens to euthanize. When it's gone, you stand away from the rock and rub several sore places that have been pierced by bladed weapons. You turn to Karako to comment on the recent fervor, but stop when you see the look he is directing at you. A warm and admiring look, an affectionate and esteeming look, a look of friendship, dare I say. Your first impulse is to throw your arms around him and lean in, but on second thought, remembering his pants arsenal, you put out your hand for a warm handshake. Victory is so close. But before you can seal the deal on this sweet friendship transaction, you hear a disturbance further down the path. God, can't the narrative chill for one single moment? Especially a moment when you're about to consummate a beautiful friendship? I love the fact that the MSPA Reader is now getting, like meta about the whole thing and breaking the fourth wall. I really enjoy that. It's really funny. You turn to look. The footsteps, several sets of them, get nearer, and around the bend come three figures. Three figures wearing swimming outfits, lots of gold jewelry, and, insouciant? I don't know what that word is. Expressions. Three figures with gills on their necks and small stylized fins on their face. Oh, shit. Oh, man, is it possible that you finally happened upon a group of the legendary Sea Dwellers? They stop short when they see you and Karako. Obviously startled, they study you. You study them. It's just like... Then Finhead Interloper 1, in a one-piece and diamond earrings, whispers to her companions and all three burst out laughing. Finhead Interloper 2, in a violet wetsuit and rings, slaps her thigh, and Finhead Interloper 3, in checkered swimming trunks, holds his sides. Part of you is relieved. Laughter drives out the devil, is the best medicine, and in any event is better than homicidal mania. On the other hand, this laughter isn't friendly. It's cold, mocking, and supercilious. These Sea Dwellers are obviously laughing at you, not with you. You notice Karako's cheeks flushing purple under his face paint and his jaws clenching. However, he just stares with stony dignity at the interlopers. This just makes them laugh harder. The first Sea Dweller says, "What are you two supposed to be?" "Shrimp Cassidy and the Squamous Kid," says her second companion. "A cull-baked minnow and his mutated soft-shell crab," says her third. "Looks like the minnow went way down on the clown, causing it to spurt out the other one." The Sea Dweller's laughter is redoubled. You continue expressionless at these insults, but to your dismay, Karako's face is taking on a harsh, glowering look. You guess that such a tiny dude has probably been victimized by bullies his whole life, and as you happen to know, there are no bullies like Alternian bullies. Honk. You tell him to let them talk all the shit they want. Don't let them provoke him. You're trying to get him to do something, or they're trying to get him to do something stupid. If he doesn't react, they'll get bored and go away. Honk. No, remember that drone? It's probably still around here somewhere. Touch a scale on their heads, and you could be rendered into mother grub feedstock. Hey, bottom feeders, no whispering when you're in the presence of your bathers. And you, little buoy, put a respectful expression on your recognition surface. Be more like your friend, the slender manatee over there. In fact, why is it you're still... Oh, man, I get it's porpoise and perpendicular. Perpendicular. In the presence of Sea Dwellers, you should be bowed at right anglers. All of these just oceanic puns. Oh, man. The first Sea Dweller seems to have an affinity for cheesy ocean puns. Thank you. You bow to the Sea Dwellers. You have your dignity, but you also like not getting killed. You have your dignity, but you also like not getting killed. Right. Oh boy! Karako remains stubbornly upright, his face getting angrier and purpler by the moment. The bladed weapons in his belt jingle from his enraged trembling. Oh, see the little clownfish? He's getting angry. Angry for angry, really? God, something in my eye! Looks like he's gonna shit his pants. They all have the same voice, I don't care. What did I tell about your face, boy? Didn't your Lucis teach you anything? Oh. I doubt he even has a Lucis. A self-respecting Lucis would never let a shrimp like that out of the hive. Unless his Lucis is just as defective. The Lucis cracks are too much for Karako. Ignoring your hissed warnings, he suddenly leaps snarling into the air, draws bladed weapons from his belt in each hand, and hurtles toward the Sea Dwellers. Honk! Honk! Okay, grab him by the coattails and try to keep him from precipitating a disaster. Leap into the fray and lend comfort and support. Let's lend comfort and support. Let's rip the fins off their faces. You leap into the fray to lend comfort and support. This one's really funny, like it's just telling me what I'm doing. You would have counseled Karako to turn the other cheek and keep turning cheek after cheek until the Sea Dwellers got fed up and went away, but now that things have hotted up, you're not about to let down the You're not about to let down the side. Karako crashes into the Sea Dwellers, his bladed weapons whirling like a blender. You scamper close behind him and kick someone in the shin. It hurts your foot, but doesn't seem to have any other effect. Yeah, so like the whole thing, like Sea Dwellers, like they are about the highest you can be, short of the Fuchsia Bloods. They are outlandishly strong. These Sea Dwellers are made of tough stuff, or you're extremely flimsy. Signs have recently pointed to the latter. Your next sortie is more effective, however. Thinking quickly, you pick up a rock and throw it at the trigger root of a spring thorn growing along the path next to where the Violet Bloods are enduring Hurricane Clown. The coiled stalk springs out, impaling the dude with 12-foot-long thorns. I just murdered a guy! He's thrown off his balance, and violet blood begins to flow copiously down his body. That's a hue you haven't seen before. Kinda pretty. That's not a thought you should be having at this moment, because I have never directly killed anybody. Zavidi's bees killed that dude whose scuttle buggy I stole. Ramel bashed the skull in of that one high blood. Oh man, who else have I been an accomplice to murder for? Azdaja killed a lot of guys. So, but I don't think I've ever actually directly killed anybody. But these Sea Dwellers are made of tough stuff. He yanks the spring thorn stalk away from him, pulling the thorns out and flings it into the woods. Then he takes out a pocket handkerchief and starts patting his injuries gently. He's okay! Meanwhile, Karako's bladed weapons have not been idle, and the other two Sea Dwellers are likewise leaking violet blood. But these bastards are hard to kill. You remember Polypa telling you that. As you watch, one of them grabs one of the bladed weapons from Karako's hand and buries it into Karako's stomach. This, unsurprisingly, is distracting for a poor little clown, allowing two of the Finny's sons of bitches to grab handfuls of bladed weapons from his belt and bury them in various parts of his body. You dance around delivering harmless kicks and curses. Karako is still waving his weapons, but he seems to be waving them more slowly now. Then, as more and more bladed weapons are buried in his body, he seems to lose focus. The weapons he's been brandishing fall from his hands. Finally, he falls to the ground in the center of a spreading pool of purple blood, twitches feebly for a minute, and then is still. You stare in disbelief at the corpse of one who, if he had been spared just a short while longer, would have been your friend, one despised and rejected, a clown of suffering, familiar with pain. They had flogged him and mocked him and spit on him, and then killed him. You struggled to come to terms with this. While you're doing that, one of the remaining Sea Dwellers grabs you by the hair— it's not over! Grabs you by the hair and suplexes you onto the ground. Your head snaps back and pain explodes behind your eyes. You are left lying on your back and trying to stay conscious, which is why you have a good view of what happens next. In the dark sky above you, something opens. Something even darker than the sky. A hole, like a cave in the clouds. It widens until you can see that in the cave, a carousel with wooden horses mounted on brass posts rotates, the horses plunging up and down in time with carnival music played by a mechanical organ. Riding the horses are naked store window mannequins. Their legs slung awkwardly over the horses' backs, their stiff arms down by their sides in whatever pose they were created, their horns huge and wildly shaped. In the darkness above the carousel, other naked mannequins with plastic wings tied to their backs are supported on wires, and above these in turn a net of white Christmas tree lights twinkle against the roof of the dark cave or circus tent or whatever it is, throwing their dim starlight illumination down on the rotating carousel. Okay, time out. What the fuck? What is happening? Am I going to clown hell? Am I going to clown heaven? What the fuck is this? As you watch, two of the winged mannequins break loose from their wires and fly down from that dark region into the night sky and the dimension Alternia occupies. They maneuver until the stiff hands on the ends of their stiff arms are underneath Karako, and then they lift him up into the sky and into the dark carnival. You hear a last faint, reviving honk as they sit him on one of the wooden horses, and then the hole in the sky closes, and there is nothing but the night sky above you. All is silent, and still again. An odd feeling comes over you. You don't think you've ever felt such a feeling, just the reality of how utterly insignificant you are. Sure, you spent the last few months wandering with no desire but the desire for connection, and you are, in a way, a being unique in this galaxy. But honestly, what does that even mean? You flit in and out of people's lives, there one minute, gone the next, always moving from friend to friend. You are, for all intents and purposes, a virtual non-entity. A bland point-of-view vector, a neutral second-person narrator, barely coming into the picture, a retiring entity, expressing only a simple, one-dimensional desire for friendship. But just about now, you feel that things have gone pretty far, and just about now, you feel that you've had about enough. Enough of arrogant high-bloods. Enough, in fact, of short-wavelength hemotypes carelessly and without compunction, killing and maiming and exploiting those of longer wavelengths, of a survival of the fittest regime that seems to come down to survival of the most violent psychopaths. Is this a moral universe or is it not, you ask yourself? Are repulsive cruelty and sickening evil punished? Oh boy. Punished in this universe, or are they not? Does an ethical force operate in this universe, or does it not? You don't know the answer to these questions, but you do know one thing. You intend to depart for once from your one-dimensional persona. You intend to punish repulsive cruelty and sickening evil if it comes within your ability to do so. You intend to create an ethical force field in your local region. You intend to exert some moral gravity right around where you are if you possibly can. And you realize that this odd feeling you are having seems to be drawing moral Higgs bosons out of the moral ground state and right out of the fabric of this multicolored blood-soaked planet that heaves under your feet. You take on the aspect of Clownsarker. What is happening? What is going on? Seizing 2 cans of inexpensive soft drink from where they fell from Karako's bandoliers, you shake them and pull the pins. Then, with malice aforethought, you direct the twin streams at the sea dwellers. You smell banana and strawberry as the deadly streams play upon them. Already weakened, they fall back with cries under the withering onslaught. As soon as the streams slacken, you take up 2 more cans, shake them, and deal out death to the unrighteous. You smell peach and diet root beer this time, but no pity softens your heart. You wouldn't care even if it were pineapple watermelon you were spraying on these brutes. But these fin heads are made of tough stuff. Rallying even in the face of this intense onslaught, they push forward, and, seizing some bladed weapons from the purple blood pool, advance upon you. Not one step back, you vow to the memory of Kuroko Pierrot. You stand your ground in desperation, grabbing some cans of diet tonic water and club soda and opening up your batteries once again, but to no avail. A trident pierces you to the bone, followed by a scimitar, a tomahawk, a short spear, and so many other bladed weapons that the sheer weight of them drives you to the ground, where your red, precious blood flows in moderate streams, mixing with the purple blood of your proto-friend. This is the end, you realize, but you are glad you died in righteous battle. You are glad you created even the tiny, sputtering, temporary moral force field in your local region that you did. You can feel your life and narrative point of view slipping away, but you are content. Yet, what's that you see above you now? A dark spaces open up, even darker than the night sky, and 2 stiff-looking winged figures are descending. They land next to you and gently place their stiff hands under you. Then they ascend once again, lifting you higher and higher into the darker space. As you pass the boundary of the heavenly carnival, your life seems to revive within you, and as the fabric of the place closes around you, and the 2 stiff mannequins place you on a carousel horse next to Karako, you realize that planets, universes, dimensions, realities, powers, principalities, and cosmos come and go, but friendship is forever. What the ever-loving shit snack just happened? What the fuck? Oh, okay, I see why I needed to do the bad one. That was fucking nuts. What the shit? Okay, alright, let's try and get the good ending this time, then we'll do it again, and we'll get the quick bad ending. What the shit, man? That took me almost 24 fucking minutes just to get that bad ending. Okay. Alright, leap to your proto-friend's aid. Yeah, we fight, or yeah, they start making fun of him, he gets angry. Alright, grab him by the coattails, and try to keep him from precipitating a disaster. I just need a moment to collect myself. Going to the Dark Carnival really fucked with me. That was something else. You leap forward. Okay, so Karako leaps to the fight. That's right, they piss him off enough and he jumps. You leap forward and grab Karako by the coattails, or by his belt. You aren't actually sure what a coattail is. Jesus, he's strong. You can barely hold him. It's like trying to restrain a small truck. His legs rotate wildly, kicking up a cloud of dust, and he brandishes his bladed weapons wildly in the direction of the Sea Dwellers. After a startled moment in which they jump backward, the Sea Dwellers have started to laugh again, coming up with more stupid insults and fish puns. This is not helping. Karako runs twice as hard, honks twice as loud, shakes his weapons twice as threateningly. Hey! You shout at Karako, trying to be heard above the fracas, holding on with all your might and digging in your heels. You have half a mind to just let him go, to pay the Sea Dwellers back for their insults, but you try to keep a cool head. You're doing your proto-friend much more good trying to restrain his wrath. You've now succeeded in wrapping your arms all the way around him, and now you get in front of him, holding him back with straight arms, bellowing soothingly into his face and trying to avoid the bladed weapons he is brandishing. But it's not working. You can see from the contorted features, the bared teeth, the distended nostrils with smoke coming out, the blazing eyes that Karako is getting more and more enraged. And suddenly, his rage seems to reach a kindling point. His body vibrates violently. His eyes grow huge and round. And suddenly, from his body, something like a nuclear blast pressure wave of fear and violence sends you flying through the air like a scrap of paper in the gale. What the fuck, are you hallucinating? But you can see as you soar up above the path that the Sea Dwellers aren't laughing anymore. In fact, they're screaming in terror and fleeing wildly, blundering into razor leaves, being impaled by spring thorns and burned by pod acid, and generally receiving the stern retribution that awaits assholes. Then your head collides with a tree branch, and you are rendered unable to narrate for a while. I'm just gonna sit here, unconscious for a bit. You wake up lying in the dust. As consciousness returns, you realize that you're lying on the path, and as it returns further, that a small clown-painted figure is seated next to you, quite calm now. He smiles fondly as he sees you sit up. Honk! You smile I love him. You smile in return. You express relief that he realizes you were acting in his best interest, holding him back from the Finheads. And now, though largely because of his unexpected burst of clown sorcery, or whatever that was, everything has turned out for the best. This... After so many, relatively chill ones, this is a lot. Karako holds up his arms for a hug, but then remembering the bladed weapons in his belt, sticks out his hand. You shake it warmly. Hey! Hey! Wow, that one's not even as long as the bad ending. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, we're not done though. I have to get one more bad ending. I have to get the short bad ending. Which is run and hide? Is that the one where we run from the drone? Alright, little Pierrot. Alright, here we go. Okay, let's see, what happens? Alright, run a drone. That's what we need to do. You run in wild panic. It's a drone. Even the Alternian badasses you've hung out with have been terrified of the drones. Yeah, so this is, yeah, okay. We're all on the same page. Up close, it's one of the most terrifying things you've ever seen, and it's making noises, which you didn't even know they did, and which probably means something sinister. You race at top speed down the twisting path, focusing your senses to their breaking point to avoid trigger roots, razor leaves, and acid pods. At first, you hear the pattering of small feet running behind you, but as you redouble your speed, the pattering falls back and after a while is lost in the distance. You sprint for what seems a lifetime before you finally catch your foot on a trigger root and go flying through the air, barely missing being sliced into 100 pieces of tumbling ham by the barbed spring vine that lashes across the path only inches behind you. You land in the dirt, wind knocked out of you, but otherwise unhurt. You lie there catching your breath and waiting, but nothing happens. No enormous metal monster whizzes down the path to impale you. No small clown-faced individual overtakes you on his short legs. Finally, after enough nothing happens, you pick yourself up and dust yourself off. You're alone on the path, and no sound of either friend or potential friend or foe can be heard. No birds sing, which is probably good. You imagine that any birds native to this forest would probably sing by croaking up putrid sludge, and that sludge would be poisonous or radioactive. But leaving aside the character of the local fauna, what should you do? Keep on down the path, putting more distance between yourself and the drone, or should you go back and see if Karako is okay? You waffle for a while, then decide to go back. You sneak back along the path. You sneak a long, long way. But however far you go, there are no signs of either Karako or the drone. You don't know whether the drone picked Karako up and took him away, or disemboweled him and scattered the fragments, or whether Karako leapt into the undergrowth and hid or escaped, or what. One way or another, you're all alone again on this path through shit-smell forest. Game over. All right, we're not gonna dwell on that, because I already got the good ending. Okay. Well, I'm glad that I was suggested to go through the bad ending, at the very least. I mean, I figured that would be the bad ending, going, like, joining him in the fray. Like, although, to be fair, joining the fray with Skyla was the good ending. So, like I said, it goes either way with these things. Wow! That, that was unexpected. So the spoiler I saw was that he knew Bronya. I thought Bronya was going to make an appearance. I was wrong, but we're not even that much longer than a typical episode. We're like slightly longer, about half an hour. So like that wasn't even that terrible, but holy shit, man. The bad ending is something else. I like the good ending. Don't get me wrong. I love him. I also like that he only ever says honk. So then, but you still understand him? Like, I love that. I love the fact that it was just written that way. It's like, yeah, no, I know what you're talking about. Also, to me, it's just Pinky, like from Pinky and the Brain goes, Narf! But it's like, honk! Like, I don't know. I loved him. He's so cute and violent. I loved him. Also, yeah, like, that was the amount of insane I wanted. That was certainly something else. So, we died and went to the Dark Carnival in the bad ending. I don't get the point of the mannequins, mind you, but that was something else. Holy shit. That really fucked with me. So, little cleanup, little housekeeping real quick. Next week is going to be something a little bit different. I'm not going to be able to do Friendsim because I'm going to be gone. I'm taking a little trip. I'm going to be gone for like a week, and I'm leaving Friday morning. So by the time the next volume of Friendsim comes out, I'm going to be gone. I won't be able to record. So next week, it's going to be something a little different. I think I'm going to be back in time to record. It'll be a double episode like I did with Gorgor and Vicare. So I'll just do a double episode for that. So expect a longer episode 2 weeks from now. I believe if the timing works out. I think it will. But next week's going to be something a little bit different. It'll probably be a little bit of a shorter episode. And I'm sorry, it's just the timing doesn't quite work out where I can keep doing, like I can do another episode of Friendsim. But we'll have a double episode the week following, I believe. I'm going to look at the calendar, see how that works out. But yeah, sorry, like, it just, the timing didn't work out. If it came out, this last Friday, we would have been fine. I would have recorded 2 episodes, it would have been great, but it just didn't work out that way, unfortunately. So I hope you guys bear with me for a week while, things get kind of caught up, and like I said, I'm taking a little trip. And I'm going to be gone for like a week and a half. So, thank you for understanding, and thank you for watching, everybody. If you liked it, make sure you click the like button down below, subscribe so you keep up with my stuff. Like I said, no Friendsim next week, but I believe a double episode the week after that. 1 p.m. Eastern Time, the normal, usual time. What else? Comment! Let me know what you guys think. Like I said, I believe it was Rice Milk commented to let me know that I should try and get all the endings, or they suggest I do all the endings. Because also Karako's bad ending, like, thank you for suggesting that, because holy shit, I loved it, but man, it fucked with me. But yeah, comment. I like talking with you guys. I have like a ongoing conversation almost every episode about like what all like things mean and stuff like that, and things that you guys like, don't like, what suggestions, whatever. I like hearing from you guys. Show it with your friends. Show them the Dark Carnival, because we got to see a glimpse of that. I didn't even know that was possible. I thought it was only for people who worship clown religion. Went to clown church every whatever during what was it? Damn it! It wasn't the masochism, was it? I don't remember now. But also, suggestions, leave them in the comments if you guys have any other games you want to see me play after Friendsim is done. Ideally, Hiveswap 2 will come out, but we're so up in the air, and who knows where it's coming down. So let me know what you guys think I should play. I have ideas, but nothing solid. But, finally, that's the end of this one, everybody. So thank you for watching. I hope you liked it, and I hope to see you next time. Later, everybody.